Hey guys, today we'll be talking about my collection of comics of Captain Marvel versus Superman. A little background real quick. Of course, we know Superman came out. Here it sort of took off. We had a bunch of guys running around in tights. And a lot of Superman rip-offs. And C.C. Beck came up with Captain Marvel. And he created a whole little Captain Marvel family there. Captain Marvel Jr., Mary Marvel, and so on. And Captain Marvel started outselling Superman. Superman had his cartoons by Max Fleischer that were Academy. I think they won an Academy Award and stuff. And Captain Marvel came out with a movie serial, and it's considered the greatest movie serial of all time. Anyway, DC ended up suing the company. I think it was Quality or somebody that put out the Captain Marvel books, and this went on for a long time, probably up into the 50s, probably close to a decade. And I encourage you to look it up to get the dates and facts right. I'm going by just memory and talking about comics like I'd be in the shop or something. So anyway, this went on, and after World War II, the superhero comics slowly started dying, and you had westerns come in, and romance comics and horror comics come in. So basically, they finally just sort of it died. Captain Marvel wouldn't be printed anymore, and but what happened was a little magazine from EC Comics called Mad Magazine started, and the first issue of Mad really didn't do anything. And then in Mad number 4, Wally Wood drew Super Duper Man versus Captain Marvels, and this really is what made Mad Magazine take off as a popular magazine that's lasted 50 years now. Wally Wood just drew gorgeous stuff. There's his cartoon Lois Lane. Clark Kent is Clark Kent. He's really disgusting. And what we have here is solid gold for Mad Magazine, because we had the first crossover, even though it's a parody of Captain Marvel and Superman going at it. And to me, they've never really topped this. That's what's amazing to me. Things come full circle. They have a parody here, and it's just I think it's 8 or 9 pages here. What cracks me up about this is Superman, Super Duper Man, tells Lois Lane he's Clark Kent. She smacks him down and says, "It doesn't matter, you're still a creep." Okay. So time goes by. Marvel Comics comes about. They find out that there's no trademark. It had run out or something on the name Captain Marvel, so they made a Kree Captain Marvel, and that's why they have the rights to name a magazine Captain Marvel. So anything that came out after that, they had to refer to him as Shazam on the cover. DC was probably in the works, if I remember right, about getting the rights to Shazam, Captain Marvel, and they let him. They brought C.C. Beck in, and he started the book. But right before that, he came out with Superman 276. Okay, that is not Captain Marvel. That is Captain Thunder, Superhero Championship of the World. The book you thought they would never print. There's a little Billy Batson-like little character watching Superman fly by, and I believe his powers are Native American in origin. He's going to Galaxy Communications to try to get a job. And this is written by Elliot S. Megan and Kurt Swan, drew it. And I think they had a lot of fun. Cool little Mego Dolls ad there. They'll be coming out soon. This is from 1974, I believe. And they just had some fun with this. There's just some really weird stuff going on. Of course, Captain Thunder would say thunder instead of Shazam, and we get a shaboom. They're not really trying to hide too hard what this is. And this is the 70s, probably a lot of cocaine by then, along with whatever drugs they did in the 60s. We got Captain Thunder, fighting monsters, putting them in cages, flying off. And I'm not going to give you a play-by-play. I got a few other things here. And I'm trying to find where it says what his powers are, because I believe they are, shaman-like. Here we go. That's a great Kurt Swan page there. Thunder Shaboom. And they're Native American in origin for some reason. And every letter in Thunder, stands for a power, much like Shazam stands for, a power that he got from the gods. and I really would like to find that. Anyway, they also came out with another book, not to get off track here, where they had Popeye, and it was Captain Strong, the book. It's in another one of my little videos, but if you can find it. And there you go. He gets his powers from a Native American for some reason. T stands for tornado power, hair speed, Uncas bravery, nature wisdom, diamond toughness, eagle flight, and ram tenacity. And you got to be tenacious to be a superhero. Okay, Shazam came back in his own book, and we get this. This is Shazam number 30. And this did not pay off. This is actually a jip. If I remember right, that's not even the real Superman. Okay, so they had him in the Justice League there for a little bit, somewhere in the 130s. I believe there's a Neil Adams cover. I don't remember if he did the interiors. That's a high-priced book. I've got one of the chapters of it. But then they came out with this, and this thing doesn't fall apart. 1978, we get Superman versus Shazam, and I like to say that cocaine had a lot to do with comics, the ideas they came up with, because apparently we have a cross of Lex Luthor in the Vision. He's Carmag the Evil, he's on Mars, and he decides it's time for him to strike. And the way he's going to strike is he enslaves Black Adam as a slave. Good to see him. That's probably one of my most favorite comic book characters. And he sets out and about, being manipulative and stuff. And you finally have Superman versus Captain Marvel. And they take big pages in this. Big pages. Supergirl pops up. Mary Marvel pops up. And we finally have big, huge pages of Captain Marvel and Superman just going at it. And I believe Supergirl gets a big crush on Captain Marvel. That just drives Mary Marvel crazy because, he's still a little kid even though he's Captain Marvel. Here we go. That's what I was looking for. Big pages. Big pages. Yeah, this thing is starting to fall apart. And the rest of the book is just big punches, double page spreads, Superman taking it, big dynamic, there we go, big dynamic poses, big huge punches, there we go. Alright, so you get the point of that. A lot of tongue-in-cheek stuff. Now, if anything happened between that issue, coming out, and anything between this, I'd love to get it. But years later, around 1984, Roy Thomas was just burning up an All-Star Squadron around the 30s. He just went on, and I plan on making a video of these. So in issue 36 and 37, he brings over Captain Marvel, and in 37, we get the rest of the Marvel family. There you go. Captain Marvel Jr. is going against Green Lantern. And basically what's going on is they're working for Hitler. They see these guys in the newsreel first. Our heroes on Earth 2, who are Wonder Woman and Justice Society more or less, are seeing newsreels of American planes getting brought down by the Marvel family here. And as it turns out, they explained that the reason nobody went after Hitler in World War II that are heroes is because he owns the biblical spear of destiny, which will take control of anyone with superpowers. So he was able to somehow get them off of Earth S and bring them there. Superman really did not like this guy. I mean, they just went at it. I fell in love with this. I've never been comfortable with anything Roy Thomas has done with Captain Marvel, and he's a huge Golden Age fan of the books and everything like that. He's aware of the Monster Society. That was one of the first stories in comics that was in chapters. You had to buy month to month or bi-monthly, whatever it was from them. They never really reprinted it. I've heard it been announced they're going to reprint it. The Monster Society of Evil just built up and built up and built up. Who was bringing all the Captain Marvel villains together. It turns out to be Mr. Mind, and I'm getting off track. So anyway, over the years they kind of brought them together. The story was another excuse to have them fight. Superman number 102. And what happened here is that, as on the cover you see Cyborg, Superman, and Black Adam. Well, I believe it was magic of some sort, but when Superman looked at Captain Marvel, he saw Cyborg Superman. When Captain Marvel looked at Superman, he saw Black Adam, so they thought they were fighting. This is what they're seeing while they fight. Okay. Then of course we had Kingdom Come, and I have Kingdom Come. I just don't like digging them out. But out of this Alex Ross book from Wizard, we have Alex Ross playing with his old toys that he bought. I believe he got that Superman for $350. It's an original wood toy, and it says right there he was inspired by what we started out with, Mad Magazine #4, Superman versus Captain Marvel, to make them the big climax fight in Kingdom Come that he built up to. Okay, moving on. The rest of the stuff is not that spectacular. They continued. We got a Superman Man of Steel, the two of them together. I don't remember if they fought. Superman in Action Comics, 678, year 2000. Superman versus some of the Marvel family there. And then in 05, we had Judd Winnick in Churchill doing a 3-part story where we started out with Superman and Captain America together. Superman gets eclipsed in Superman 216. They end up fighting. And it continues on to Adventures of Superman 639, if I have those in order. This may be, part 2 and 3 might have been switched. And when they had the big Villains United tie-in, Gail Simone came in, wrote a superb story of Black Adam showing up to hand Batman his butt. Action Comics 831, 2005. Basically, my opinion is this: Captain Marvel would be able to beat Superman, and I'm a fan. I'm a fan of both of them. But they cannot let their figurehead superhero get beat. And that's why Captain Marvel, to me, has never gotten a fair shake. To me, he's the ultimate hard luck hero. He beat Superman in sales, he got sued, had to shut it down, and then Marvel picked up his name for a book. He can't have a book named after him anymore. I mean, this guy just has so much stacked against him, and they've done so much change in Captain Marvel in the last couple of years, to where Billy Batson, the last I heard, is not Captain Marvel. They let Freddie Freeman turn into him. Then they turned around and came out with a little kids book where they, Billy Batson, the Power Shazam, and they let Jeff Smith from Bone come in, and his contract, his 4-part story is supposed to be gold. This is a Captain Marvel origin. It's supposed to stay in continuity. And I believe with the events of 52 and the Parallel Earths, they have a whole new Marvel family planet again, which I don't know if that's set in stone or not. At least I know I've read about it. Anyway, there's just a few books I have. I'm a huge fan of seeing those two go at it when it's done well, and I'm sure I probably have a lot to find out there. If you know anything, give me a comment down here if there's any other books where they're fighting. All right, thank you very much.